Fire safety. Some fire safety tips. It is very important to know safety tips and what to do in case there is a fire. One of the first things we want to make sure is that we do not go back to get your toys. If there is a fire, you don't ever want to go back inside to go get anything. So if you safely get outside of your house or your building, if there's a fire, you should never run to go back in to get anything, even if it is something important. We also make sure we want to call 911 once you get outside of your house. Do not call it while you're inside your house because the fire will be going. Also, 911 is for emergencies only and should not be called as a joke. If you call 911 and there's not emergencies, sometimes you can get in big trouble by the police. If you unfortunately catch on fire, you should stop, drop, and roll. If you try running or jumping, it will not put out the fire. You have to stop where you are, drop to the floor, and then roll around on the ground to smother and put the fire out. Otherwise, the fire on you could burn through your clothes and get onto your skin. If there is a lot of smoke, you can always try crawling on the floor because the smoke will rise and you'll be able to breathe better if you are closer to the floor. However, if the floor is on fire or parts are on fire, you will not want to crawl on the floor. Escape plans. Your family should have escape plans at your house in case there's ever a fire. You will know where to go. To all the students that are here at school on our campus, we practice fire drills, which is our way of having escape plans so we know where to go in case there is a fire at school. You should have more than one escape plan in case there is a fire in different parts of your house. You should also have a meetup spot. This is where you should meet once you get out of your house safely to know that everyone is made safely. So if we look at our picture here, we have a map of a person's house and they have different escape plans. One is in red and another escape plan is in yellow, and then they have a meetup spot, which is the tree outside their house, so that they know that everyone has made it there safely. If someone isn't at the meetup spot, then they know that someone could possibly still be in the house and they could let the firefighter know. Also, they have more than one escape plan. They're in different colors because if there's a fire in one part of the house, they will have to have one escape plan for there, and if there's a fire in a different part of the house, they might need to have a different escape plan. So it's always very important to have more than one escape plan because fires could be in different parts of our house. Some pieces of fire safety equipment. First one is a fire hydrant. A fire hydrant is a piece of fire safety equipment that you can see outside, sometimes right outside of different people's houses. Under the ground, there are pipes that carry water. Fire hydrants work by helping to pump water out of the pipes that are in the ground. They work by having firefighters connect their big hose to the fire hydrant. Then they turn on the hydrant and it pumps water out that can be sprayed onto a building or house. So some of you have maybe seen fire hydrants in people's yards or in front of different buildings. Some of them are yellow and some of them are red. We can see the water being pumped out of this fire hydrant here. When firefighters connect their hose onto the fire hydrant, the water gets pumped up and then into the hose, and then they can use it to spray onto buildings and different things that they need to put the fire out for. The next piece of fire safety equipment is a smoke alarm. A smoke alarm is a piece of fire safety device that helps to smell and warn us if there is smoke in our house or a building. Sometimes we may not be near the smoke to be able to see or smell it. Smoke alarms work by smelling smoke and then letting out a loud beeping noise to let us know that it smells smoke. It is important to check the batteries of your smoke alarm because if the batteries die, then the smoke alarm will not work and then it is not safe. So sometimes we might be maybe in our bedroom, and if there's a fire or smoke in the kitchen, we may not be able to smell or see it. However, the smoke alarm in your kitchen will smell the smoke and it can let out a loud beeping noise so that we can hear it. At school, we have smoke alarms in each of the classrooms and all the different buildings to keep us safe. Fire extinguisher. A fire extinguisher is a special piece of fire safety equipment that you may have in your home or have seen in different buildings outside of your house. A fire extinguisher has a special container which holds fire extinguisher chemicals, which can then be sprayed onto a fire with a hose that is attached to it. Fire extinguishers are usually for smaller fires, maybe ones that you may not need help with the fire department. They are mostly used so small fires can be put out and don't turn into bigger fires. One example may be if you have a fire on your grill that you're cooking with that gets out of control. So we have the fire extinguisher here. Inside of this big red container is fire extinguisher chemicals that then can be sprayed with this hose to put onto smaller fires so they don't turn into bigger fires. Fire alarm. A fire alarm is a special piece of fire equipment used to alert other people in a building if there is a fire. It has a switch which you pull, then sets off an alarm noise which lets everyone in the building know to get out because there is a fire. When fire alarms are pulled, it also sends a message to the fire department telling them to drive to the building where the fire alarm goes off. Some fire alarms also set off sprinklers in buildings, which can be on the roof of different rooms to help put the fire out. At our school, we have fire alarms in each classroom and each building at our school. So in case there's maybe a fire in the cafeteria, someone could pull this switch down to let other students know in the other classrooms that they need to leave the campus and get to a safe spot. Because if you're in a different classroom, you may not know that there's a fire. However, if they pull down the fire alarm, we can let other people know in other classrooms to get out safely. So to review fire safety, we want to make sure we never go back inside our house or building to get something, even if it is important. If we make it safely outside and we're at our meeting spot, we should not go back into a burning building. The phone number we call for emergencies is 911. We want to make sure we get first out of the burning building and then you call 911. It is not safe to stay inside of your house or a burning building and call 911. You should get out of the building first. If you catch on fire, you should stop, drop, and roll. If you keep running or you try jumping up and down, it won't put the fire out. You have to get on the floor and roll on the ground to smother it out. We also want to make sure that you and your family have escape plans at your house and a meetup spot in case there's a real fire. If you practice it a few times a year, it will make it safer for you in case you unfortunately have a real fire. Here at our school, we do fire drills to practice our escape plan.